Hello, my name is Todd. Welcome to the Lyceum Weekly Update number 52 for the week of December 22nd, 2014. And it's 52, which means something. So, carry the 1, 12, that's 52 weeks in a year! We've been going for a year! Insert party celebration things I don't have, I just look like I'm jizzing. Technically, last week was the actual year since beginning weekly updates. But we missed a week, so now this one is the numbered one, so there have been 52 in the last year. Still going for a year, still gonna count it, fuck it. Now firstly, as always, band of the week this week is Winston Surfshirt. They are a mix of a bunch of genres, kind of like R&B, but at the same time, they're kind of rocky, kind of poppy, indie. It's whatever you make it out to be, and their music will be running underneath this video, so if you like it, click them below, check them out, and support them. If you want to see them perform, I put my notes down, so, excuse me. If you want to see them perform through my blurry face, they are playing on Friday the 26th at the Hotel Stein in Manly, in the upstairs Stein. Before I get into launches, since this has been going on for a year, I want to talk about two things. Two somewhat important things. One is just a general personal thing. The other one is something that everybody should actually know. The first, the Lyceum, have been going for a year, have changed to a few different locations of filming, a bunch of stuff happening in the year since starting. Obviously the same kind of year that many people have, a lot of things positive, some things negative, but it's mostly on the positive side this year, so I'm doing well. I figured I might give a little bit of little known facts about the Lyceum. Yes, it is a gig guide. Yes, it most certainly is the most comprehensive online. I have personally checked, and I like to try and keep an unbiased thing and not state things just because I want it to be the truth. Being the most comprehensive gig guide has taken a bit of work because I've wanted to make sure that everything is linked. How do people find bands? You need to actually give it to them. You can't just say a name and expect people to know who they are. That's how people don't go to gigs, because they don't know what they sound like. So by putting bands in the links, you know exactly who it is, you can check them out. That's why I wanted to start this in the first place, because people need information. They need the information for free. Most importantly, screw this shit about bands have to pay in order to be promoted for their launch or in order to be simply involved in a gig guide. It's ridiculous. I am always flabbergasted when I talk to a band or I talk to someone in a band, tell them what I do, and they ask how much it is to be involved in the gig guide. And I'm like, it's nothing, it's free. You have a gig, you get listed, that's how it works. And the main thing with the Lyceum is that even though it is as comprehensive as it is, and there is stuff always on and always listed as in detail as possible, it is all done by me. There's no cameraman, I record this, I edit it, I put the gig guide up, which is dumb, trying to handle it all by myself. Other people would be awesome, but it's a time burden. It really is a time burden. I would not put that kind of burden on other people who have better things to do, who have jobs that they need to attend to, who want to go out at night and enjoy their life, unless they were explicitly offering to do it for free and really had no problem with it. That being said, I'm not putting this out as some kind of like, cry for me, boo-hoo kind of thing. It's more just, if you have something that you want to support, if you're a band, you want to offer me your music, go for it. I would love to listen to you. If you want some feedback, I would love to give you feedback as well. If you're a booker who just wants their gigs to be known, contact me. Let me know what's happening, because there are some venues that are terrible at doing that. And the booker is the only person who you may actually know who does it, who makes events. Anyone who does things like that, if you're a band doing a gig, if you're a promoter doing a gig, if you're involved in the music scene in any way and you just want your name out there, you want someone to pay attention to you, contact, because it is what I do. It's what I love doing. That's why I have myself doing these every single week. And even through the worst times where I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Or why am I doing this? I still do it, because the benefit that I get out of it is not only from the amount of stuff that I discover, not only from the amount of bands, the amount of venues that I discover, but it's also from all of you guys. Anyone who has ever said thank you in my time, anyone who has ever sent me a letter saying you're awesome, anyone who's ever even donated through the website, all of you you brighten up my day so much. I've come across like a couple of people who have heard of the Lyceum before I ever even met them, and that is awe-inspiring to me. And that's why over the next year, I'll be hoping to sort out something so this can actually grow to be bigger, do more for the community, do more to get other people onto it. There is a major push for Australian music in the international market right now. Right now is probably the best time to be a musician. You may argue against that to do with what's happening locally, but globally, it is the best time to be an Aussie musician, to really push yourself, to really make yourself sound great, look great, I know, marketability is a weird, crazy thing, but it's important. And making the push overseas, because it can happen, it has the ability to happen, and there are opportunities all around, and so many people don't recognize it. Speaking of which, opportunities, the second thing I want to talk about, APRA. If none of you have heard of APRA, listen closely. APRA are a great many things, but the most important thing that a lot of musicians miss out on is that they are essentially the base for royalties for musicians. Anytime that you listen to radio, anytime that you walk into a shopping center and they are playing music, anytime that you talk to a business and you're on hold and they have music playing, all of them have to pay APRA to have a license to do that. The money that goes towards APRA is consolidated because they're a non-for-profit company. That money is then used to pay royalties to any of the artists that get used, any of the artists that get played. And this does not only extend to international artists, this is for local artists as well. If you get played on the radio, that radio station, I think quarterly, they have to send APRA a list of the bands that they've played and the songs, so that way that APRA can look through the people who are registered with them and send them their royalties. The same goes for venues, because venues, as far as I can remember, they also have to pay APRA to put on live music. So sometimes the venues use that as a reason to not pay the artists because APRA pay the artists. They don't need to offer them any money. Sometimes a booker or a promoter, that kind of third party who organizes it, they can offer money because it's not like they're paying APRA directly. But the venue itself typically don't have to worry about paying the band because APRA handle that. Obviously, these still can be very minute amounts of money, although if you're playing a lot of gigs, you know, it could work out depending on the venues that you're playing at. But if you register with APRA, you can sort out essentially like a tax reform. You can date it back, I think about 5 years, and that will sort out your live music stuff. Any gigs that you've done in the last 5 years, you will get paid for as a royalty kind of thing. If you've been played on the radio and you know it, you can list all the details, you'll have royalties paid to you for that. There are bands who are doing extremely well who still aren't registered with APRA, and if you aren't registered with APRA, you will not see any of that money, and you won't see it until you do it. APRA is the most important thing to musicians, especially in the Sydney scene, because that is how you make a fraction of your money. That's how you make part of your money. And the entire thing, APRA and AMCOS, they're also there as legal help for musicians. If you think that you have been wrongfully copyrighted, if you think that somebody has stolen your work, or that you've done work for someone else that they have then not paid you for, you can contact APRA AMCOS and they will help you. They will give you that kind of general idea of, yes, you have something here that you can chase them down for. You don't just have to sit around and accept it as the musician's woe. So, if you're not involved with APRA, just type APRA or AMCOS into Google, type it into Facebook, their page will come up immediately, or you can just click their link, it'll be in the description. If you aren't registered with them, register right now, get involved with them, because it is extremely important if you are a musician. Now you may be wondering why I used some of this video to talk about a couple things, as mainly because there is nothing happening this week. Literally, because it is Christmas, obviously, there is just nothing happening. There is one launch and there is one special gig that is happening. And it may be the same for next week, considering that it is New Year's, but we'll see what happens. So, kicking straight into it, launches on Sunday the 28th. Skipping the entire week, there's an indie pop rock EP launch at the Valve Bar in Sydney, and that is with White Blanks. And then special gigs, Saturday the 27th, there is a hardcore punk fundraiser. All proceeds will be going to the Sydney Dogs and Cats home. It is called Punk for Paws. That's happening at Valve Bar in Sydney. It is $10 to attend. You can check out a massive lineup of bands, including Brown Paper Bag, as well as Speedball, Cult Killers, Skinpin, Shady Nook, Payroll, That's the Last Straw, and Strawberry Fist Cake. All those bands, they do a lot of stuff in the punk hardcore scene. It's great that they're doing something for dogs and cats homes, because if you haven't realized through his videos, I quite like animals. They're awesome, especially dogs, especially Phoenix. He's outside somewhere. And there hasn't really been any local music news I've come across in this last week, so that is it. That was a very lonely paper throw. If you want to check out the gig guide, it is now up on the website. Even though there's only those couple things that are happening, there are still other gigs happening around the city, whether it's open mic nights or just an actual gig that's happening. Yes, there are less, but really around Christmas time, I don't think a lot of venues want to bank on people coming out to the venues instead of spending time with their families or their pets or themselves. So people do that. Some people like it. Just head to www.thelyceum.com.au. You can find the gig guide. Everything is linked because, as I said earlier, that is how people find music. You can find something new in a genre that you love. It is so goddamn easy. I will also possibly be doing the general radio thing, but either way, listen to them if they're on Wednesday from 6:30 on 88.7 FM, 90.3 FM, or you can stream it through the website for Radio Northern Beaches. Check out The Flip Side with Lachlan Wiley and hear a bunch of awesome local tunes. Saturday from 2 p.m, check out Swar FM on 99.9 FM. You can check out another awesome listing of great local artists. These guys who put on great playlists. Another shout out to Thursdays from 10 p.m, The Band Next Door on 2SER 107.3 FM. That is just an awesome show. 3 shows, separate days, separate times. All of them will show you new music. They will reveal great local things to you if you just give them a listen. That's it from me, so enjoy your holidays, whatever you get up to. I will still be back next week with another roundup of launches, special gigs, and news, but I'm not going to end it there because I will be making a separate event for New Year's events. I'm going to just try and consolidate them all into one gig. I'll try and put it out sooner than next week, than next Monday. I'll try and put it out sooner so you can organize what you can do on New Year's if you want to check out some live music for that Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that and for the gig guide that is next week, as well as the weekly update next Monday, and I'll see you then. Be good.